You only have 10 seconds to get on the stage.
What stage, man? No, it's over there.
That's just the sound check stage. Good show. Here we go. Woo-hoo.
Mr. Red Barn!
Hello, one and all. Good to have you with us on Red Barn Radio. I'm Brad Becker. This is season 19 of Red Barn Radio, and tonight we welcome you to show number 738. Our staff and our artists so appreciate that you continue to visit the Red Barn Radio YouTube and Twitch channels to enjoy our Wednesday live streams. And with us tonight, Grizzly Goat. Founded in Las Vegas in 2013, Grizzly Goat has since considered Provo, Utah their home. We may learn more about that. Their love of bluegrass music and its relatives make this region, though, yet another home for them. The band is hardworking and tireless. Annual tours and their trusty van has enabled them to grow a fan base here in Kentucky and also in neighboring states of North Carolina and Virginia. We love these guys. Welcome to Red Barn Radio, everybody. We bring you Grizzly Goat.
Whether in Paducah or a Newport town, I envy that river and the way it gets around. Goes along so smoothly, constant steady dream, carrying them burdens and then washing them on downstream. Well, I've tried forgiving, and I've tried to forget, but no, it ain't happened yet. 'Cause we buried that hatchet, oh, so many times, but it seems that hatchet, it ain't never that hard to find. In a pew, I thought I could do what the good book had asked me to. And about the Monday, it's real clear to me I can't possibly reach that 7 times 70. So I go down to the river. Can I share a load of grief? No.
Good evening and welcome to Red Barn Radio. Wherever in the world you're listening, welcome to Roots Music Southern Style. Thanks to WEKU, Red Barn Radio's official radio partner, NPR for Central and Eastern Kentucky. Listen online at weku.org. Red Barn Radio is supported by Visit Lex, Lexington, Kentucky's Convention and Visitors Bureau. More information on what Lexington has to offer is at visitlex.com. LexArts, Lexington, Kentucky's premier cultural development, advocacy, and fundraising organization, working for the development of a strong and vibrant arts community as a means of enhancing the quality of life in Central Kentucky. Follow Red Barn Radio on Twitter and like us on Facebook. Here's the host of Red Barn Radio to tell us more about tonight's performers.
Nate Wagner and his friend Ben Gibson played with numerous folk bands during their early years before finally settling into Grizzly Goat full-time in 2013. With bandmates Alex Vincent, and Scott Munson, Grizzly Goat has supported acts such as Green Sky Bluegrass, Jim Avett, River Wireless, and Town Mountain. They become favorites at festivals across the country. Their latest album is called Bound to Go to Waste. We are glad to have these guys here this evening on Red Barn Radio. Welcome back, Grizzly Goat.
Thank you. It's a song called Colorado that Ben helped me write when I was trying to get my now wife to date me. It's freezing outside, I throw the windows wide, let the fresh air come in like the tide. Aspens just sway at the break of day. The sun ain't too bright, but he's sure on his way. Sweet rivers flow, cold trains roll. Where you lead, I am bound to follow. Sure feels nice, almost like fate. The prettiest gal from the prettiest state. Whoa, 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 Colorado. Whoa, Colorado. I knew a gal from Virginia, knew a gal in Caroline, but I didn't know then I was wasting my time. Only got so far, then love hit a wall, and them Rockies make the Smokies look small. Whoa, whoa, Colorado. Whoa, whoa, Colorado. Thanks, man. This is a song called Buffalo Jump off of our most recent record. everyone's just coping, hanging on and hoping that one day they'll rope in all they have forgone, 'cause the North Platte has dried up, all the money's tied up, they're packing their pride up and carrying on. So much. All right, so this next song we're going to play is one called Wallowa, Oregon, 1877. And it's the story of Chief Joseph and the Nez Perce people. It's not a story most Americans know, but it's an important one in which the Nez Perce fought against the cavalry, the United States cavalry, to keep their lands. We wrote a song about it, and it's one of our favorite songs, and it's on our most recent album. Look at across with powder, packed with grief. A battle of love in Whitebird Canyon. We stole the lives of thieves. I will fight no more forever. I will fight for my relief. 'Cause I got fathers all above me. Their war cries echo still. Thunder rolling down the mountain, Lord, the rifles on the hill. I'd give in to the impulse, till the army back its stand. War doesn't make a warrior, or a crown to make a king. Ever since I was a young man, felt the burden on my back. I got fathers all above me. Their war cries echo still. Thunder rolling down the mountain, Lord, the rifles on the hill. I'd give it to the impulse, give the army back its stand. War doesn't make a warrior, nor a crown to make a king. War doesn't make a warrior, nor a crown to make a king. This next song is our top song on Spotify. It's called Time. Oh, now time, don't you brag how you have spent it. You said you're busy and you meant it. Now all you do is vent it. Oh, now time, what would it weigh in gold? And for how much was it sold? On your fast track to growing old, gunning for monotony, repetition aimlessly, rhythm without melody. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's for me. Oh, in time, you'll lose your compass for compassion if you wear your haste like it's high fashion. Will you be happy when you cash in such a high commodity? When at birth you got it free. Tomorrow is no
All right. Grizzly Goat, Nate Wagner, Ben Gibson, Scott Munson, and Alex. Great to have you guys all here on the program. Welcome.
Yeah, dude, we're stoked to be here.
Yeah, well, good. Nate, this all started with you and Ben. Is that right? Would you mind telling sort of, and I was under the impression it started like when you were teenagers. Is that true?
Yeah, it depends on how you count it.
Well, I would count the teen years stopping at 17, 18,
Oh,
18.
right.
So,
Yeah. Well, then,
or 19, really.
Then yes. Well, like, we started playing in bands when we were teenagers. Flint Valley, Save the Banjo, Nate Wagner and the Easies.
Oh, really?
And then we went to foreign countries for 2 years as missionaries, and we like sent tapes back and forth. And then when we got back, that's when I would say like it's the start of this band, you know. And that started in Las Vegas, Nevada. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Okay, yeah, good. Because when I talked to you on the phone earlier today, I said, okay, how about let's tell the story of like where this band is from. And your response was, well, that's kind of complicated. And so I guess we ought to start with you just telling the complicated story, if it is a complicated one.
It's quite complicated.
Okay, yeah.
It's quite complicated. So so Ben and I guess, started the group in Las Vegas, but we were going for more of like a hippie troubadour campfire thing at the time. And we started the group as Wandering Woods, which is not a great name. And then we moved up to Utah to go to college, and there we added some more members, added some drums and stuff, and then we changed the name to Grizzly Goat. But soon after that, we sort of didn't play as much in Utah and started making the South our home base, you know. So then we were going to move to Knoxville, Tennessee, and I'd even like bought a house there, and I was booking as if like, okay, we're from Knoxville, Tennessee. And we made all sorts of plans. I mean, the radio station WDVX was going to do like a series on us, like Grizzly Goat's moving out to Knoxville, and then the pandemic hit, and then post-pandemic, I got a job in Raleigh, so now we're like based out of there. Yeah, sort of.
You're right. It is kind of complicated.
Yeah, but the band has like remote jobs, so you know, they'll live in Utah and split their time in between the two.
Whew. Okay, so tell us what was going on in music, even in your heads at the time when you were young people thinking, hey, we really gotta get a band going, like the Wandering Woods thing. So what was going on in music at that time? And yeah, everybody jump in. Ben, go ahead. Ben Gibson.
Well, let's see. When I met Nate, I was trying to learn Smoke on the Water on guitar. And so, yeah, I was just starting to get that going. And then Nate invited me to learn mandolin too, because his mandolin player never showed up for practice. And so, yeah, I had no idea what I was doing, but I memorized the notes that I was playing. And honestly, that's still what I do. But so anyways, we just kind of started doing that. Nate thought I was more reliable than most people, even though I was just kind of starting out. And it just kind of kept going.
So for you, it was a rock thing. That was sort of what you were grounded in, more or less, rock and
rock
guitar,
sure.
and wanted to go that direction. But he was into something. So he was more the sort of hippie mountain element.
Yeah, I mean, I was a city boy from Las
thing.
Vegas.
Okay.
I listened to kind of the older folk rock, you know, like Neil Young and Bread and that kind of stuff.
Bread,
so
very
yeah,
nice.
Just that was as far folky as I got, and so Nate kind of pushed me over the line. So,
well, Bread did rock.
Yeah,
they could rock.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, guitar. Are you kidding me? All right. Yeah. And what about you, Nate? So yeah, what was going? Yeah. So what was going on with you that had you playing? You're a teenager who likes acoustic music, and you're asking a buddy to play mandolin. That's not like a lot of teenagers.
No, it wasn't, especially for Las Vegas. And I grew up just outside of Louisville, in like southern Indiana, and
I think it's pronounced Louisville.
Yes, right.
dude, you will get shanked.
We would have to consult with John over there. He's our Louisville guy.
So yeah, and so then I was living in Las Vegas, and I just felt like a fish out of water, and so that's when I actually really got into folk music, was when I moved out there as a teenager. And then it became like a goal of mine to have a folk band. But they didn't differentiate bands when we would play back in the day. So we would play with like a ska band and like two death metal bands. And we'd show up with a banjo. And like, no joke, like people were like, what are we supposed to do with a banjo? Like the sound guys and stuff.
Our banjo player was a metalhead, thankfully. So
Yeah.
he'd pull out some Coheed and Cambria on his banjo. So yeah.
But yeah, just I don't know. It was playing folk music was a lot about identity for me, because moving to like a big city like Las Vegas was kind of a shock.
Yeah, Las Vegas. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And I've never been there, so I have these notions about it. But one, I do not ever.
They're all true.
I have never. Well, I've learned now something new, that Las Vegas could, in fact, to somebody, be a folk music town, but it's not really, is it?
Like two people, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, two.
I converted
two.
one and then we moved.
Well, then let's move forward then and talk about how this band of players sort of assembled. How did that actually happen? And now we get to meet somebody else in the band. This is Alex Vincent.
Hi, how's it
Alex.
going, everyone?
Nice to see you. You got a great smile, Alex.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much. You too.
Yeah, thanks.
So me and Scott, we were playing in a different band. I don't even. Should I look here? Should I look there? Where should I look?
You know, at me is fine.
Okay.
I mean, yeah,
Cool.
we're talking.
You're a good face to look
I
at.
mean, yeah.
So me and Scott were in a different band. We used to tour with like the folk dance team at Brigham Young University. So after we graduated, we just kept playing together as a different group, and I think we just played a show together. And then eventually he was like, "Hey, do you want to come join our band?" And we were like, "Yeah, I guess we'll try it out." So yeah, after some assimilation time, the two became one. And I mean, we still do our other band, but yeah, we're Grizzly Goats now, officially.
Yeah.
You can tell by the beards.
Yeah, that's right. Do you have to have a beard to be in the band? Is that a requirement?
Well, it's not, but you get kind of shunned if you don't have one.
If
So
you're not grizzly enough, you got to accentuate the goat.
yeah.
So, in your own way.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we've had a band member without a beard since 2017.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, so are you then both you and Scott? Scott, you jump in anytime. Scott, are both of you sort of in a place in your lives when you can do music full time? And is it your part B of the question? Is it your intention to do music full time, or is this just something that you do when you have time?
So pre-pandemic, it was looking like it could be a full-time thing, and then pandemic
right.
happened and it kind of messed some stuff up. So thank goodness we're both able to work remotely, so we can come out here and do tours, and mostly it's like weekend warrior type stuff. But yeah, like before pandemic, we were pretty well able to do freelance music and other things. But
Well,
then
I don't know why I've never really thought about this. We've talked so much about the pandemic and the impact that it had on artists over the course of the last year. And it really has not occurred to me, maybe because I'm stupid, that this presents also an opportunity, a silver lining,
Yeah.
right, for traveling musicians who work remotely, is that they can do both kinds of work at the
Definitely.
same time,
yeah.
which is cool that you guys make that happen. What kind of work do you do?
I'm a technical engineer for cloud computing devices. Real nerdy stuff.
Yeah. Okay, good. But we may have some folks who have some questions about their
Okay.
Apple IDs and stuff like that,
Perfect.
and if they've forgotten them. And what about you? What about you, Mr. Munson? Can you go by Munson or Monson?
Monson.
Monson. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, Scott.
But I'm more on like the scheduling account service representative or account management side of things. A little less technical, but
Yeah.
still remote.
Yeah, and that works
and
fine
it has
for
been
you.
a huge blessing for us to be able to do that. to
Yeah.
Still keep our full-time jobs, but still put a lot of time towards the band. And
Yeah. Well, what's
kind
nice,
of the best of both worlds.
yeah, what seems great to me is that you have that opportunity to develop both sides of yourselves. You know, people sometimes get into adulthood and sort of become one-dimensional because their jobs require so much of them. I mean, how many people have I met who, you know, played instruments when they were in college and even after college, and then they get into their career path and, you know, it's like, where's the instrument? Well, I don't play anymore.
Yeah.
You know, so that's very cool that you guys can continue to do that.
Yeah.
Hey, we'll get back to some more talk in a little bit. Nate, I wonder if you might tell us about the next couple of songs you're playing, Front Range and Gentle Wild Spaces.
Yeah, Front Range is like the end of any Western where the cowboys shoot it out. That's the theme of that song. And then the next two songs are some of our wandering through nature sort of songs, you know, things John Denver would like.
All right. Welcome back, Grizzly Goat, folks, on Red Barn Radio.
Desperado of the Front Range, I've not reached heaven yet. I've been driven hard all my life, being put away wet. Justice is a game for those who interpret the law. I'll find the man who put me here and I'll punch him in the jaw.
Many days in many ways now I've made up my mind. The lawless, godless, writing man, I've come to know your kind. For me, I have come to this, I say you all must go. And I send my marshals to your town and send you down below.
If I time it right, I just might slip right out of town. Shoot my way, steal my way from all this running round.
But if I was a betting man, I'd say you're dead by dawn. So have a drink and fill your hands, you'll hang before too long. Get it, Scott? All right, we'll tone it down a little bit. It's typically a miracle if we get through that song without breaking something. Yeah.
Looks like we have to do it again.
This is a song called Gentle Wild Spaces. I got my undergrad in wildlife and wildland management. And so in that In those classes, I learned the word sessile, which means to be stationary, like trees are sessile. So you'll need to know that word for the song. I love finding holy traces in those gentle wild spaces where no evil dare chases me down. 'Cause I feel practically sessile with a home range of a mile. I could use a good long while out of town. As we pulled into Kentucky, the rain was crashing all around me, and it's a real irony that running around is the only thing I've found to ever ground me. Oh, yes. Ought to call what I do rambling is a platitude that's been worn out so many thousand times before. But there ain't a better word to call running out full speed when they start locking doors. As we pulled up to Lake Tahoe, I rolled down my window, smelt the ponderosa pine. Oh, good Lord, I'm doing fine, leaving envy and sorrow far behind. Take it away, buddy. I find the things are clearer when they're in my rear view mirror. Anywhere is the frontier with open eyes. So I embrace at every greeting, yell to hell with all the fleeting, and we'll keep the drum beats beating till we die. When I pull up to heaven on high, I'll say thank you to God and goodbye. And since you're all knowing, you must know I must be going off to find those rivers flowing through the sky. All those gentle wild spaces by and by. For hanging, my money ain't worth saving, and I've been a poor boy since the day that I was born. And I've had some hard days when I've told God to split ways, and I'm prone to wander, but I always return. Oh my road ain't hallelujah, but hallelujah anyway. What's it to you, honey babe? What's it to you?
Oh, how did I get here in loads of debt, dear? I may curse the land and I may curse the sky. These weeds will not beat me, bad weather can't defeat me. My broken heart will reach heaven by and by.
My road ain't hallelujah, but hallelujah anyway. Oh my road ain't hallelujah, but what's it to you, honey babe? Alex, take that thing. When my journal's read, y'all please skip what I said. 20th of April 2010. I was in a bad place, but anger could not keep pace, and I got me that good grace going once again. Oh my road ain't hallelujah, but hallelujah anyway. Oh my road ain't hallelujah, but what's it to you, honey babe? Oh my road ain't hallelujah, but hallelujah anyway. Oh my road, I can't stay stainless, 'cause life ain't painless, honey babe.
Hey, before we get back to more music with Grizzly Goat, got something to tell you. Next week on Red Barn Radio, we got Mason Colby. Mason was born and raised in the musically rich Gulf Coast, splitting time between Lafayette, Louisiana, and Houston, Texas. But it was in Kentucky that he picked up a banjo and started making music in earnest. A founding member of traditional string band, the Jarflies, who have been here on Red Barn, Mason has been part of the old-time music scene in Kentucky for well over a decade, and he's now writing songs that blend his love of Acadiana, the Bluegrass, and Texas songwriters like Guy Clark, Jolie Holland, Lyle Lovett, and banjo hero Danny Barnes. That's next week's live stream, Red Barn Radio, the weekly program that's been bringing you roots music, Southern style, for nearly 20 years. And now let's get back to tonight's Red Barn Radio program. We come to you live on our social media platforms, broadcasting from the Arts Place Performance Hall here in the city of Lexington, Kentucky. Please welcome back Grizzly Goat to the Red Barn stage.
Heading quickly, my dear, quicker than Paul Revere. Indiana night, you got it all. Harrison County, my man, the extent of my plan, and motorcycles from spring to fall. Two rows in a yellow wood. Don't matter which one is good. Just above the firelight, hung up like tobacco out to dry. Got a secret I ain't told, one left that I ain't sold. Indiana, now I think you know why. River Jordan, it ain't all that deep. Often I cross it in my sleep. The Ohio, oh, it's deep and wide, and I know which is the sacred side. Yeah, we have a lot of geographical disses, and that was one of them, if you didn't catch it. Kind of a niche market that we're going for, geographical songs. This is a song called Out of Sight, Ain't Out of Mind. It's on our first album with this group. It's called Ursus Oriamnos Americanus, which in scientific speak means the American Grizzly Goat. And the song is track 7. And I knew that we had something at least fairly good when our part-time fiddle player, who was married to Scott, when she was recording her part on it, she started crying, and I was like, yes! And I wasn't happy to see, her cry, but I was happy that,
Emotional response.
got an emotional response, exactly. Patience, it ain't my strong suit, but I'm changing. The dark clouds that I'm engaged in, I can't leave them behind. Don't believe me, it would not be that hard to leave me. It would be pretty easy, but out of sight ain't out of mind. Out of sight ain't out of mind. No, no, no. Out of sight ain't out of mind. Tried to warn me all about this. Confidence comes from a sweet kiss. The lack thereof is a living hell. So I buried all the love I ever carried, up until the point we married. Where it's hid, I'll never tell. Out of sight ain't out of mind. No, no, no. Out of sight ain't out of mind. Tell you truly, I have known the depths of lonely. Even if I weren't the only person sleeping in my bed. sight, ain't out of mind. Oh, no, no, out of sight, ain't out of mind. I can't leave them behind. Oh, no, no, out of sight, ain't out of mind. Thanks, guys. All right. I mean no harm. My best not to swear on Sundays. I'm a pretty damn religious man in some ways. I try my best to reject statutes, rules, and precepts. I really mean no harm. I really mean no harm.
Well, draw lines about liquor. I guess I've never been a stickler. You warned me and then too soon I'll find myself a blue moon. Be this way until I buy the farm. I really mean no harm.
Quiet. I was preordained to start a riot. I tend to either zone out or get myself thrown out. I guess they did not see the charm. I really mean no harm.
Never get too hung up on the details. Wait till it works or it fails. Never get too high strung about what I will become. Never wear a badge upon my arm. I really mean no harm. good yoke.
Yep. John's a good yupper.
He is.
All right. And so are you, Nate.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Nate, I wonder if now might be a good time for you to sort of play marketing guy and tell folks who are listening, who are really enjoying what you're doing, how they can get more of it.
Yeah.
and what experience they could have by going to your website, for instance, about your latest album. I mean, let's get that in.
Yeah, I know I'm biased, but I think our website is one of the best little corners of the internet. There's a lot of things on the internet competing for it, but we feel pretty secure about that statement. And one of my favorite pages of our website is the store page, and we've got 3 CDs for sale, a vinyl record, shirts for sale, and not very many other bands can say this, but we have a book for sale. It's called, it's a pretty original name. It's Grizzly Goat Volume 1, and you can either get edition 1 or 2. 2 has slightly less typos, but the pages are a little bit more off. But it's a really fun book. We had a great time writing it, and it has stories from the road, crazy run-ins, some recipes for food, some advice to bands who are starting out touring, some sort of lessons we learned the hard way.
It's really just advice from us, which you could take as a grain of salt, but yeah, I think it's pretty good advice though, especially my Chipotle hack in there.
Oh,
yeah.
all right.
Yeah, if you want to get a little bit extra food at Chipotle when you're on the road and you're having a hard time getting your daily dose of veggies.
Well,
yeah.
hey, so what is the latest album? Is it the 2020 release that I mentioned early on? Okay, good. Started to get that right. But it sounds like you like to record, and like you have enough material that you can continue recording without duplicating stuff.
Yeah, we just finished Bound to Go to Waste, and he was already ready with another set of songs.
Uh-huh.
A bunch of the new ones we're playing today, actually. Like this next one is a brand new song.
Oh, so not from Bound to Go to Waste, but
yeah, exactly.
New.
We're already playing like the
like
next album.
forthcoming.
Yeah.
This will probably be the first recording of it, really.
Yeah,
Right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, good. Well, that makes sense. Then people can can get excited about the new stuff that you have coming up. Hey, you mentioned, excuse me for a second. You mentioned the Grizzly Goat book, and indeed, that was a unique element on the website. I wish I had one beforehand, before the show, but now I have one in my hot little hands, and it's fun to look at. I wonder if you might tell us. You guys have traveled so much. I wonder if you might start, before you get into the book, by telling us, what have been some things that maybe have transpired on the road that you would sort of consider, maybe pivotal moments for the band, things that have come about that you feel have drawn you together as a band, a traveling band, because it's so critical that a traveling group stays close and connected. Can you go there at all?
Yeah, it's a deep question.
Yeah, I don't know. Off the top of my head, I don't know if I could think of any one moment that really was like super inspiring, but there's been a lot of very, very strange moments we've been able to laugh at over the years, and that have definitely made it in that book and stuff, and that we joke about still with all our weird inside jokes on the road, that when we get back to our families, they're all confused by the lingo we use since we've been living in a van for so long.
Well, I don't mind. I don't mind if we just jump right to that, because that's really the next question. If you can, and then if you can come up with something poignant or profound in the course of our conversation, you can bring that up. But no, why don't you tell folks about a couple of examples of some really funny stories, funny and sort of events on the road that were also sort of educational for you guys, to give people a couple of feedback. Yeah, it's your opportunity to sell the book, man.
Yeah. Okay. Well, in the book, there's a story called To North Carolina and Back, which this was Ben and I's first show back from our missions in 2013. We had one show booked that was going to pay us $400 in North Carolina, and we were living in Las Vegas. And we're like, dude, we got to do this. This is lucrative. $400. We went there and back in 4 days in a Subaru sedan with a cooler in the back seat. And it was 4 of us, so we drove around the clock. I was newlywed, and my marriage nearly unraveled on the trip. it was horrific. The audience did not like us at all. They like stopped clapping in between our songs.
We weren't really any good either for our first show.
But they should have been a little nicer, even if we
Yeah.
did suck as bad as we sucked. You know. And
I really cared about it though, you know.
Yeah. But it's just a like hilarious story, and I added in a lot more details in the book. But at the time, it was like it's super hilarious looking back on it now, because it's just like a beginning to end disaster. But looking back on it, we learned some lessons, some like really good lessons about just perseverance, having some grit to take a bad performance and keep going with it. And we've been back to North Carolina so many times. I live there now, and we've had tons and tons of rockin' shows. And for a while after that experience, it was like, are we hanging it up? Are we not? And we didn't. And it ended up being a good learning experience for us.
Yeah.
We
And-
kind of
go ahead, Ben.
learned that there's the I've been stuck in the car with you for days on end without any real food or sleep version of yourself that you need to, or versions of other people that you should forgive, and hope others forgive you, because you get a little cranky sometimes.
Would any of you like to say something about maybe a particular kind of food you prefer your bandmates to stay away from on the road?
That brings us to another story from the book.
Yeah,
Go, Ben.
this is unanimous.
Well, maybe Alex should say this. I tend
Yeah.
to have I have bowels of steel, but Alex does not, especially when it comes to spicy food.
Alex, this is your opportunity to
All-
defend yourself.
All I would like to say is don't eat Prince's hot chicken, which is a staple in Nashville, and then go camping in the rain after having driven for 15 hours or whatever. There's a detailed story in there.
Okay, well, maybe we'll leave that up to our imagination.
Yeah.
It's that bad, yeah.
It was pretty bad.
It doesn't get too graphic in the book. It leaves a lot to the imagination.
Oh,
but
good.
It's one of the best parts.
Well, it's a story of wetness, for sure. All right. So with all the traveling you've done, if you don't mind me asking, can you talk about some places you've been that you have a particular fondness for, and then ultimately, what is it about the South that that really draws you, Nate? And I gather others of you as well, right?
Yeah, we started in Utah, and we had the goal of going out to the South, and that was we first did that in 2016. A band named River Wireless pointed us in the right direction. But yeah, the reception here has been great. Some of our best shows ever have been in Kentucky, and a lot of our songs mention Kentucky, so that does make sense. Knoxville has been a huge place for us. Western North Carolina.
What happens in the South that you like so much, coming from the West?
I think the thing is, like, people here recognize the banjo. They recognize sort of like the human element that comes with folk music, and it's a good jumping off place for us than when we kind of like go crazy, like rocking out on the folk stuff. People don't mind as much. They kind of have they already have an acquaintance with it, and so
Yeah.
they get it a little bit more when we change it up.
And talk a little bit about your plan to continue writing songs about states. You're on your way to Missouri, right? To St. Louis?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What would you write about Missouri
What would I write?
if you were to write a song right now?
I guess that time that we were driving on the 64 and we got that crazy rainstorm crossing the Mississippi River, like the van was like blowing back and forth. Also, the world's sweatiest gig was in Ellisville, Missouri at Bluebird Park, which we're playing again tomorrow. I had to like peel my pants off of my legs, like my jeans, because they were just drenched. That's the band's history in Missouri.
So the song's going to contain something about sweat and something about the Mississippi.
Yeah, we've got a lot of wetness.
Yeah, right. Good. Back to the wetness theme.
A lot of moisture.
And where do you have plans to go then before you all return back to your sort of your other lives? Where else are you going to be traveling? Can you say? Or you can't even say. There's so many places.
Just lots of places. I'm like everywhere in the South.
So-
We'll be in Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee.
All right.
It's kind of the whole gamut.
All around and about.
Lots of Virginia.
Okay, good. You mean the Virginia, like Virginia,
The
not
OG.
West Virginia. Got
Yeah.
you. Okay, VA. All right, good. Grizzly Goat, been great to have you guys with us on Red Barn Radio. Enjoyed meeting all of you and looking forward. I'm glad the music's not over. There's more to come.
Us too.
Yeah. Okay, there's more music to come with Grizzly Goat. They've got some songs happening, about at least 4 more. So let's do it. Grizzly Goat, Red Barn Radio.
I got some bad news late last night. Woke up this morning dead inside. The good times had to bail. By and by we prevail. That crash after a long ride. Now disappointment's on the rise. No need to apologize. Some things work out just fine. Gold at the finish line. We hit ice and then capsize. Hey buddy, let's not sweat it. I love you and I get it. Oh, we all feel your pain. It's just the cost of living, my friend. You're forgiven. There's nothing to explain. I hate to leave you in a load from Kentucky to Idaho. We drove the Golden Road, luck by the bucket load, and never practiced for a show. But I guess nothing gold can stay. And as dawn goes down today, it's not the great divide, it's just a different side. And Raleigh may not be the way. Hey buddy, let's not sweat it. I love you and I get it. Oh, we all feel your pain. It's just the cost of living, my friend. You're forgiven. There's nothing to explain. Hey buddy, let's not sweat it. I love you and I get it. Oh, we all feel your pain. It's just the cost of living, my friend. You're forgiven. There's nothing to explain. Thank you. This next song is called "The Higher Ground." I wrote it when I was in the Philippines, and it's about an experience where someone that you care about lies to you, and you just have to kind of come to terms with, someone isn't just the one-dimensional; they have another side, and it kind of rocks your world. I think a lot of people have had experiences like this. And sort of when I was processing that, I wrote this song to kind of help come to terms with it. Don't you know the truth will set you free? Oh, brother, please explain why you're standing in them chains. Don't you throw that ball into the ocean deep. David became a fallen king. On a moonlit night, Bathsheba was bathing. And if he had turned his head, he'd have never had been to bed. He'd have never had lost his holy crown. Now I know it takes strength to dig up your mistakes, but if the levee breaks, where would you be found? So brother, don't you wait, come on and tell it straight. Find your way back to the higher ground. Peter denied the Savior thrice. That rook wept bitterly that night. And when that cock crew, oh Peter, yeah, he knew what he'd done. And I know you do too. Is the light much too bright to take? Are the truths you killed keeping you awake? In the dark, do you hide, wrestling with your pride? The ones up high have so far to fall. I know it takes strength to dig up your mistakes, but if the levee breaks, where would you be found? So brother, don't you wait, come on and tell it straight. Find your way back to the higher ground. Thank you. This next song is called Death at the Door. It's on our album Burning the Prairie. It finishes off the album, and then we let the distortion ring out for like another minute. We love this song, and it's one of many songs that we have about death. Actually, we're not all that morbid, but our music goes there sometimes. Alex's solo in the song, I think, has got to be my favorite solo he plays in Grizzly Goat. It's fantastic.
Thank you. What's that? Oh, sometimes, yeah. It's maybe a little bit up. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Our gear's been a little finicky since we haven't touched it in a while.
drop a line. Just one day he's there at your door. You ask, could I have just a little more time? Please, just a few days more.
I wouldn't give for the chance to give love to those that I know. Know how I beg for the chance to beg forgiveness from those that I owe.
I ain't ready to meet my maker on high. I have wild oats still to sow. Is there a catcher out here in this ride? If I ain't ready to go. I wish that I'd left more emails unread. I regret this in a cold sweat. And I left so many kind words unsaid. 'Cause death I ain't ready just yet.
If I could just walk in the Rockies once more, lay in the desert one night, I would welcome you, death, right back to my door, and happily do this thing right.
I ain't ready to meet my maker on high. I have wild oats still to sow. Is there a catcher out here in this ride? If I ain't ready to go. Here I lay in the ground and my body breaks down. I replay my life the way through. Got a list of regrets, but the biggest ones yet are the good things I never got to. 'Cause death I ain't ready to go. Death I ain't ready to go. Death I ain't ready to go. Death I ain't ready to go.
We would like to thank Grizzly Goat for being with us this evening. We also thank our volunteers and staff for their help in making our production happen each week. Thank you all for listening to our webcast, watching us on YouTube and Twitch, and those listening to us on the network of Red Barn stations and media worldwide. Thanks to WEKU, Red Barn Radio's official radio partner, NPR for Central and Eastern Kentucky. Listen online at weku.org. It's your chance to hear more great live music from Red Barn Radio and WEKU. Those of you here in the Central Kentucky area, be sure to check out Red Barn TV, our weekly program of music now on ABC 36 WTVQ. Red Barn Radio comes to you from our home, the Arts Place Performance Hall in downtown Lexington, Kentucky. Our website has updates and further information on our guests in our program. We're on the web at redbarnradio.com. And now, once again, please welcome back Grizzly Goat to the Red Barn stage.
Thanks, y'all. This has been a real treat for us to do. I mean, like I said, we just love the state of Kentucky. It's mentioned, I think I counted once, 8 of our songs, probably 9 now with all the new songs. We love being here. Also, y'all have the world's best gelato somewhere downtown. I forget what it's called. You guys probably know.
Oh, right down there on Limestone.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Anyways, that's that, and this is this. This is a song called Read 'em and Weep, and we play it into another one of our songs called Bear Claw Tracks. Bandana on my face, dust along the trail, riding high and keeping pace with the devil on the rail. So put your hands above your head and don't you tack no more, or your life will meet the end. I'm smoking 44, am I smoking 44? Yeah! Time in Lexington and then in Bowling Green. The devil works the night shift, friends, if you know just what I mean. Dog is growling at the door, footsteps in the yard. Read 'em, weep, my friends, 'cause I'm laying down my cards. I am laying down my cards. Yeah! Get ready for the harmonica. Bushwhacking, baby, find a place to stand. I'm leaning back over, buried in the sand. Bear claws in no man's land. Push your luck in a running back. Find where them rocks is stacked. Completely lost in the bear claw tracks. I find the trail, hit up the sack. Up the ground, got gone out right at the rock until the dawn. Hide in the Cape Saskatchewan, up in the mountains of no man's land. Bushwhacking, baby, find a place to stand. Leaning back over, bed in the sand. Bear claws in no man's land. Thanks, guys.
Well, that's all for our show for this week, folks. You can see and hear Red Barn Radio worldwide as we stream live on the web, on YouTube and Twitch, Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern in North America, and archive performances on Spotify, iTunes, and video on the Red Barn Radio YouTube channel. Be sure to check out our social media for updates to our upcoming schedules and more information on our program. And now from all of us here at Red Barn Radio, to all of our friends worldwide, it is our hope that you have a great week. Keep working together to be safe and healthy. And until next time, good night from Red Barn Radio.